Welcome to this week's edition of Pub Shenanigans. Hey everybody, this is Eric.
Pickle.
Ben.
We're a man down this week. They had a case of the man Johnny Itch break out.
And so, we're Adam free this week. He'll be back for next week's episode for sure.
If he gets his chores done.
Yeah, he had to be his...
I'm wearing a French maid outfit.
I'm sure that's actual facts and information. And just throwing a little disclaimer out there, you may hear some music and everything. We don't own any rights to this, but we need everybody to help understand. We actually do this live from a pub.
Only one we know that does it.
And so we're going to kick everything off with the man himself, Lenny Black. He hosts us and allows us to do our pubcast from Lenny's Main Street Pub. There's none better in the area. So you get a chance, come on in, get a membership, and join us. So
great drinks,
great drink prices, great bartenders, great crowd.
Prizes for winning the bowling game, darts, and everything else.
So always throwing our shout out to there. We're gonna kick everything off with Valentines. Valentine's Day was just the other day, and everybody feels, you feel all the love in the air. Sometimes the legs in the air.
What day for VD?
Yeah, Visa debit.
VD and pregnancy.
VD stands for Visa debit.
That too.
So I think Ben's the only one that really did a Valentine's thing this year.
Yeah, we went to the Olive Garden and had shout out to Olive Garden for great food, by the way. Tim, the bartender there, man, if you get to see him, he's awesome.
Olive Garden, that's kind of like the redneck Riviera there, ain't it?
Yeah, man. That's how I flew in Italian.
See, I'm married an Italian and have never been there since I met her.
Oh, good luck with that, man.
I do. No, seriously. Real Sicilian home-cooked food. Dude, she's been cooking that shit all day today.
Come to your house for Valentine's.
Fucking hell yeah. It'd be a better meal than Olive Garden ever serves you. But anyway.
I am going to go to Olive Garden and bring breadsticks.
Okay, do it. I just need a satchel of breadsticks to go. How about some of that all-you-can-eat salad? I need a wheelbarrow full.
Wheelbarrow, that's pretty good. But we went and ate dinner, fried ziti. Had a couple of glasses of wine with all the other crowds that were there, man. It's just ridiculous. VD Day is that bad, man. It is that bad. But I had a great time, though, man. I really did.
Well, my wife also got the Italian experience. She worked at Domino's that night, so... I piled up on the couch with chicken wings and done the real NASCAR thing, or real redneck NASCAR thing for Valentine's Day and watched NASCAR.
Well, and I was behind the bar serving you other fuckers that were here drinking. Another shout out to Adam and Jody. Thanks for coming in and being one of my customers that night. Way to give her that big old rock, buddy.
Yeah, we're all waiting for the date, either the due date or the wedding date, whichever one it is.
When he's born again.
Yeah.
But, we all saw this article this week that we all kind of shared around where apparently for a nominal fee, they will actually take silicone, do a silicone impression of your anus and make chocolates for the love of your life.
No.
So, I'm sorry. I'm going to cross the line there. First of all, I'm never going to volunteer for that because,
so
I'm all for people eating ass and everything, but I don't want to eat a real chocolate starfish.
So they use silicone.
They use just a silicone impression, kind of like they would, kind of like they make like when they're doing impressions or even for
your teeth.
Yeah, well that or like they're going to make like you're in a horror movie and the horror makeup, the latex they use for that.
Okay, I thought it was like the Dairy Queen dipping hot chocolate. They just poured it right down in there, let it cool off,
Oh, and while I've got the opportunity, and speaking of ass, Pickle, here's that money. By the way, I'm not smuggling drugs in my ass for you again.
Yes, you will.
Damn you.
You're done when I say we're done.
So, what do you guys think about chocolate assholes?
Well, listen, what happens if you bleach? Do you have white chocolate starfish?
You know,
Like the Kardashians, I'm pretty sure they got white chocolate starfish.
no, because one of them's married to Kanye. She's getting that dark chocolate starfish.
I mean, if you sweat a lot, is it salty chocolate ass?
Then you know what?
Sea salt caramel.
I'm gonna make something real special for y'all for Easter.
Lord.
Just call me chef. I'm gonna give you some salty chocolate balls.
Like, see that plaster being made.
Mel's Kitchen.
Oh, Lord, that's some veiny eggs.
Rocky Mountain oysters.
Right?
So you just bartended on Valentine's Day?
Bartending on Valentine's Day. Got a really good tip. Got a really creepy proposal from a patron that night. She was like, "Hey, if your wife wasn't sitting over there, I'd clear off a space for you to sit." And I'm like, no, I don't think so.
Only because she was here.
No, I don't think so.
Wait, it's only because I wasn't here.
Oh yeah, I would have been like,
pouring.
yeah, I would have been like, yeah, you just got pickle-nated.
Pickle-nated.
It's kind of like inseminated, but different.
Except with bigger mouths.
Yeah.
Speaking of pickle, it's time for you to make some of your own pickle juice again.
Yeah.
That's
It's time for my once a month bath.
Yeah, fresh squoze. But we were kind of having a conversation the other day when we always meet up and start talking about what are we doing with our podcast this week. And one thing that came up was, do you remember your first blowjob? And now I understand, Ben, it may have been one you gave and had to use 7 shots to get the taste out of your mouth. But I kid everybody. If we can't make fun of ourselves, we have no business making fun of anything.
That's exactly
right.
But
plenty of that material here.
But Pickle's story is pretty great, so I'm gonna let him kick this one off.
Oh Lord, see, 200 years ago when I was 13 years old,
205.
riding over, we lived in a little neighborhood. Well, we lived in a damn trailer park. I ain't gonna lie. It was a nice one. We had land with it and whatnot, And we cut through the neighbor's yards, riding our bicycles and everything. And I'm cutting through my neighbor's yard, coming back from my best friend's house. He wasn't there. And this young heifer.
I always knew he had a cow sucking on a teat.
Well, I knew my best friend had been messing around a little bit, or at least he was saying, and I didn't believe it. Yeah, whatever. Well, she flags me down in her yard. And I didn't like her because she usually just beat the hell out of me.
She loved you.
Love hurts. I did.
Love hurts. Love hurts. It hurt when he was peeing after it was over too.
Usually nice.
It's only about 7 months until football again.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, is anybody following that new league coming out?
So, down. I'm being unusually nice. I'm like, suspect, even at that age. And brings me behind, says, "Hey, I want to show you something back here." And took behind this little shed, barn, or whatever. And proceeds to molest me.
He said,
molest you?
Yeah.
With her genitalia or her mouth?
With her mouth. And it scared me. I wasn't expecting it to be warm.
What were you expecting? A deep freezer?
I had no reference point.
I mean, where everything else you've been poking it into, watermelons, ponies, one hate fuck chicken.
Gently hate fuck chicken.
Chicken hate fuck chicken.
It makes them tender though.
Yeah. I was leaving the scene like a murder suspect because I was convinced I just peed in her mouth. I didn't know. I'd never done that before. Like, oh, God.
That makes sense, I guess.
So I got to go.
That surely would be though.
Took the best nap of my life.
The first of many. All right, Ben. Mr. Jammin' himself.
We were sitting there and we had picked up this girl from school. I was at school, so she came home with us, let's say that way. And we go home, and me and my buddy are sitting there, and she's been smoking some weed. This is back when I was in school, when I went to school. on the days I was supposed to go to school.
The 1 of 10.
one of 10. So, she's giving us each head. And all of a sudden, we had been up all night about 5:30 in the morning, and the front door open. Hey, Dad's home. So we throw her behind the couch.
You literally threw her behind the couch?
Nice. So I'm sitting there, and my buddy goes, "It's my dad." We're like, "Shh, shh, shh." So he comes in, we hear him shut the door, and he goes to bed for a little while. All of a sudden, I go in the kitchen, and the sun comes up, I think, getting some water. And my buddy's dad comes out and goes, "Get the fucking wild women out of the house before I wake back up. And oh yeah, I want my weed back, because we had taken his weed to smoke it so we could get the BJs." So now...
So, your first blowjob, you actually had to pay for in somebody else's weed.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I was going to use mine. So then I had to run around town. I was like, "Hey man, you got a time bag, But she gave us my first blowjob, and it was pretty nice, man. I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Where can I get more of that?
Yeah.
I got to buy more weed so I can get more blowjobs. We'll blow for weed. I could she's standing out on the side of the highway. We'll blow for weed. Oh man. So I guess mine was the house I grew up in. We had this old dilapidated carport and everything, and this girl and I were fooling around. And there's nothing like having your first blowjob experience with a girl on her knees in a dilapidated building that could possibly crash down on you at any minute and everything. But you know what? It was so good. I didn't care. I was like, I could die right now, and I know what it's like. I've lived a life now. I've experienced the almighty blowjob. Man, I walked around 10 foot tall like I was 6'2" in Texas. I grew 2 inches.
I don't know why.
Only up, not out.
That came much later. So, what else we got for this week? How about we talk about some conspiracy theories?
Jake, well, you got one.
And I'm gonna throw some curveballs in there to see what you guys think on some things too.
Something I come up on my own, I don't know, random thoughts of an ADD patient.
It's an ADD patient.
I was sitting around just watching TV one day, and it just kind of struck me. You go back to Adam and Eve.
All right.
And Adam got in trouble for eating off the
Tree of knowledge.
Tree of knowledge, and that tree was supposedly an apple tree.
Right.
And the whole thing taking a bite out of the apple.
Or it's a pomegranate. It's one of the two.
Yeah, symbolism. Whatever.
Yeah. Symbology.
So, what is knowledge?
It's information.
Information. What is the biggest source of information we have today?
Internet, man.
Okay. What facilitated the internet majorly throughout the world?
Well, it would have been computers. Because, in the internet, I know initially it was to share medical information and everything. Mm-hmm. I just heard a whole podcast on this the other day. But, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Keep tracking, man. You're going somewhere that I think is going to be pretty interesting.
What was the computer that made the internet possible for the homes?
It was Apple, man.
Computers, right?
What's the symbol of an Apple computer?
An apple.
With a bite out of it.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's so what are you saying?
That's intriguing, Pickle.
That Steve Jobs was like God?
Or the Antichrist, who knows?
But he's dead, so...
Or is he?
He's in one of the computers.
Did they transfer his consciousness?
That's what they did, man.
Some Iron Man shit going on right now.
Since the boom of the internet, commerce and, availability to instant knowledge and everything is just like wildfire, but then also has all these new problems as far as, can't say anything, can't do anything, being totally judged. Look
at all the relationships it's ruined.
Oh yeah,
because and we'll discuss that later because I've got a positive note on that one. But I mean, think about it. I mean, anybody has that opportunity. You go on Facebook, you can say whatever you want to say, and anybody can be a badass behind a computer screen.
Yeah.
Talking shit to people. So I mean, yeah.
Look at the rate of the jump of what you call it, prepubescent, adolescent suicides.
Yeah, because the bullying is...
Usually when you went home, you at least had a break.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now
you
it's
go high.
It's 24/7 now, and it's relentless.
Yeah.
It never stops.
And they don't care because I mean, there's parents aren't. I mean, back in the day, you had a problem with somebody. It's say Ben, you and I got pissed off at each other. We would throw some blows, and then we'd probably go have a drink together. And I would have probably been sitting on the sofa getting a blowjob with you. So, I mean, or pickle even. You handled your shit. You didn't get pissed off and go carrying a gun into a school because somebody was picking on you. Yeah. You didn't go, take it out on your coworkers either.
Yeah.
You went out and, you dealt with it. Because, like you said, when you went home, it was over. You didn't keep on going. So, I mean, cell phones.
At least it was done for 8 hours. You know what I mean? Until you had to go back to school.
That's right.
And, and honestly, back then, it made you a little tougher.
Yeah.
You didn't get easily offended by things.
No.
You didn't get your feelings hurt because that was just life back then.
Well, according to all the experts, none of us should be alive because we didn't wear the helmets when we rode bicycles. We didn't have shin pads.
I don't know, Ben. I think Ben should still wear a helmet sometimes.
Hey, look, I'm a proof abortion should be legal. See these coat hanger marks? I'm joking, people. I am totally joking.
Apparently, the lead paint on my crib should have killed me. I mean,
paint liquor.
But I mean, according to all the experts, we should all be dead now. If you go by house safe, bubble wrapped, they stuffed in cotton candy. They want to raise people these days.
Well, yeah. I mean, and true, and like you said, but
we learned not to do things because that hurt.
Yeah.
Like, hey, remember Hey Kool-Aid? I don't have a percussion.
Yeah.
I feel like a cymbal, Mom. Stop running into the wall, you dumbass.
I mean, yeah, and what the days where moms carried a wooden spoon in their purse because if you got out of line, she was going to wear your fucking ass out.
Right in the middle of Walmart.
This was like Sky City days.
Yeah.
Went back before Walmart ever existed. Because I can tell you this now. I got my ass beat more times with spatulas and wooden spoons than from my mom and those old fly swatters. Man, and I'll tell you what was the worst. My dad, this is early 70s, my dad had one of those wide-ass white leather disco belts with all the holes in it. You know what that'll do to your ass thrown up on a...
Get your ass pierced, Daddy's thick belt.
No. It wasn't my dad spanking me. It was my mom. My dad was cool. My mom was fucking evil and would throw shoes at you and shit. And I mean, I love you, Mom. In case you ever listen to this. But, I mean, it was true. I mean, yeah, I deserved it.
Now, I got granted it probably the same half the world had at this time. Go out there and pick your own switch.
Oh my God. My great aunt was notorious for that. You go pick that hickory. Man, I brought back a fucking limb one time. All it proceeded in doing was making her angrier.
Yeah.
So what does she do? She goes out and tears a little limb off of a fucking mimosa tree. And if you don't live in the South and you've never had a fucking mimosa switch taking the back of your legs in your ass, you don't know pain.
You'd rather walk through hell in gasoline britches.
That shit. Shush! I'm driving the bus.
I
mean, that shit would draw blood. It hurt, and
whelp you up, boy.
and threaten. I mean, she used to threaten to tie me in a tow sack in a tileless tree out front because you won't ever settle down. I mean, yeah, and do you guys remember when teachers could spank you?
Oh, God.
Teachers. I'm not talking getting sent to the principal. I'm not talking about getting sent to the principal. I mean, my second grade teacher, she broke so many fucking rulers across my knuckles for talking out. But then the one time, since we are talking about, pre-approved corporal punishment, we were cutting up at lunch one day. I think it was second grade. Buddy of mine had thrown something at me. I'm not thinking about it. I just grabbed the closest thing to me, which was a full carton of milk. I fling it at his head. He ducks. It pops the teacher in the back of hers. Guess whose ass ended up getting drugged down to the principal's office? I get taken into the principal's office, and I get my 4 or 5 licks and everything. And I said, my mom hits harder. You want to know how fast I got drugged back in there to get my ass beat yet again? You know, I probably had the world record at Pendleton Elementary School for getting the most licks in the least amount of time and the most office visits within like 5 minutes of each other.
Let me tell you one real quick. Me and a buddy of mine, this was junior high. We used to get in trouble all the time. So
You still get in trouble all the time.
Not like I used to. So I got sent to the principal's office, and they were like, man, it was weird, man. They would tie the principal's note. Here's the office referral. Go see him. Oh, I know him. I know where his office is. I'd walk in and
I remember getting write-up referrals, man. Those were great.
dude.
You always got they gave you the pink and the, what was the yellow one called?
I don't remember, man.
But you know, you had to give them one and you had to take one home. But go ahead.
So,
Yeah.
I'm up there, and my buddy goes in first, and he's getting ready to get his licks. And I'm sitting there in the window watching him, and they rear back, and right as he rears back to spank him, he farts. And he farts so loud. He stopped, and he had the door shut. He was like, oh my God. He had to open the door. And David looks back at me, and I start laughing at him, I was like, oh my God, that's too funny. The principal had to walk out. He made us sit in the hallway till David aired out. And they called us back in to get the licks. I said, I'll go first. He said, no, you won't. David should be out of gas.
You've been working one up.
Nasty bastard. Biological chemical warfare on him.
So, did you ever get pulled in for one?
Oh, yeah. And the bad part about it was when we got it there, I don't know, it twice as bad when I got home.
Oh, yeah. We all did, man.
Now, the one that really got me was second grade. I was...
Shout out to second grade badasses.
I was having trouble. I was struggling. This was before they really knew how to diagnose ADD and stuff like that. I was really
LSD.
I was really struggling with
PTSD.
And I had a smart ass woman teacher. This woman protruded bitch out of her pores.
God almighty.
And
that sounds pretty
How
safe.
evil was she?
She walks up to me. They made me sit at the front of the class because keep me to pay attention or whatever. And she walks up for the whole class. Douglas, are you going to do your work today? And my bullshit lever just hit enough. Nope, I'm done. Might as well just go ahead and take this book. I'm done with it. The kids laugh. Oh shit, I'm cool. 15 minutes later, I see my dad standing at the damn second grade door. She done went to the office and called him.
Oh, man.
My dad dragged me out behind that church, and he wore my ass out, come in with tear stains. I'm sorry I said that. 8 years old, and that was a beating of my life. I remember that to this day.
I can kind of one-up that one. Junior high school, elementary school, I was like on first name basis because I got in-school suspension so much that when my brother started elementary school, they couldn't believe that my mom had more than one kid. Because I was that notorious. And, Miss Roughton was our vice principal, and I spent more time in her office than I did in my classroom.
That's where you did most of your Crayola in the principal's
Man,
office?
I'm telling you. So then, I get to junior high school, and I'm thinking, I'm going to try to turn a new leaf. Yeah, right. So I get in a lot of trouble. Well, I get in a fair amount of trouble. Not as much as elementary school. But here's the kicker. Our vice principal, Mr. Jenkins. Guess what Mr. Jenkins does? He and my dad are friends and play basketball at our house on the weekends and do cookouts and shit. So guess who knows my dad? So when I get in trouble, I'd gotten into some pretty questionable trouble, I'll just say. That I got into some serious trouble. And I get called into Mr. J's office. He goes, Eric, I'm going to give you two choices. And you got to understand, this is like early 80s. And he smokes these big old Moore cigarettes. And back when the teachers could smoke in class and everything else. He's sitting there. He's sitting there on the other side of his desk, and I'm sitting there on the other. And he goes, Eric, I'm going to give you two choices. I can give you a paddling, or I can call your dad. And I'm like, Mr. J, don't call my dad. Please don't call my dad. I said, I will gladly take the paddling. He goes, all right. You know the position. Assume the position. So I'm sitting there. I grip the end of the desk, And he rears back, gives me my licks and everything. And I said, okay. I said, you know, can I go back to class? He goes, no, wait a minute. He goes over there, dials up my dad, calls him, he goes, Jack, I just had to give Eric just took 7 licks for doing X, Y, and Z. And he goes, oh, really? I said, and I'm over there going, Mr. J, you said you weren't going to call my dad. He goes, no, I owe it to your dad because he needs to know that you're a problem. You're a problem. You're a pain in my ass. That's the kind of problem you are. And I said, but you're at our house on the weekends. You know I'm a pain in the ass. It doesn't change because I come into your school, man. But it's like, no wonder I'm fucked up. I got beat. I should be wrapped in bubble wrap and have my feelings hurt all the time.
All right, now real quick, first grade, man. This is how I got caught. My teacher named Miss Flowers had walked in. I was the problem kid. And I pulled a t-shirt over my head, and I was going, oh, yeah, Stanley. And Miss Flowers had walked out of the room, so I was like, he was a, what do you call it, class snitch, as we would call him now. I was like, up your butt with a coconut. And I feel myself getting yanked up, and my shirt's over my head, and I can't see.
So you don't know who's jacking you up?
She's got me up, dangling me like a little ragdoll toy, dragging me to the office. And that started me going home with a letter. Now, my older brother was like in 4th grade. He was way ahead of me. We walked home. That's back when you could walk home from school.
Yeah.
Every day I come home with a letter pen, and my brother would change the letter and write it down in Crayolas. And my mom knew those weren't our letters, you know what I mean? But she's like, give me the real letter. So I was like, I'll go get it. My mom was just trying to help him out, so don't be too hard on him. Man, I'd get beat twice for that. It was just ridiculous, you know?
Oh, I got one. It's a little off subject, but I got to tell y'all this one.
Oh, go ahead. Why not? Sharing is caring, Pickle.
Senior year, come down on my birthday in the school parking lot, and I had the number one parking lot in the senior parking lot. I got there like 6 o'clock the day they was giving them out. I wanted that number one because I wanted to be able to get down and get out for lunch and back quick. You know, I was skipping lunch all the time. So I come down and park right beside mine is a 72 Mach 1 Mustang. It's on my birthday. 72 Mach 1 Mustang, 351 Cleveland, black and white,
just badass.
My dream car. I had a thing after school every day. I'd run over to the rods that used to be over here, and get a hot weenie and a yoo-hoo. That was my after school snack.
A Bahama Mama hot weenie.
How about Lenny?
Our mysterious benefactor, the man that brought it all together.
That's right.
Okay, so back to this badass Mustang.
So, realize it's mine. Happy 18th birthday, man. I'm just as happy as can be. So the first thing I managed to do is get kicked out of the senior parking lot.
Wait a minute. How do you manage to get kicked out of the senior parking lot?
I had a 72 Mustang with a 351 Cleveland in it. And I was used to my little Beretta, so I had to see how far. I knew how far I could spin the wheels in the Beretta. I had to see how far I could spin the wheels in the Mustang. So I power brake that thing up and went from one end to the other, the cloud of smoke.
Did you blow your tires?
No,
okay.
No. I knew better to do that. But come back in the next morning, and we had 2 vice principals. We had Mr. Lawson, which Mr. Lawson, me and him was always straight. I walk in his office, Doug, did you do it? Yep, here's my punishment. Doug, did you do it? Nope. All right, go on, because he knew it was like that.
Yeah.
Miss Garrison, not that way. I was guilty the moment I walked in. So
why does that not surprise me?
Whether I was innocent or not, I was guilty the moment I walked in.
I feel you.
Naturally, she's the one that wrote me up. She seen me do it, and out the senior parking lot went it. So I spent the rest of the year hiding in the teacher's parking lot, moving my car 3 or 4 times a day. But I got my revenge on it. When we graduated, we had to go across the line, shake the hands and everything, all that, everything. And the last one was Garrison. And she started shaking my hand. I was like, nah, come here, give me a hug. And she leaned in kind of awkward to give me a hug. She didn't expect me to do it. And I turned her to the crowd and grabbed 2 hands full of ass and shook it. Whispered in her ear, what are you going to do? Kick me out of school? Walk back to my seat.
that sir is an epic way to leave out high school.
That guy got canned, you know.
Because God knows, high school was a fucking nightmare for everybody.
Oh, well, I mean,
I remember of it. 'Cause, I mean, I spent more time drinking and having a good time than I did just about anything else.
I done the athletic thing. I had good times in that, but I struggled with a lot of the rules. I was a bit independent, you know, so they didn't appreciate my sense of humor on a lot of things, quite obviously. But that was my good revenge story.
Well, you know, we've got a young man that's decided to kind of step in and maybe have some opinions on some things today. We got Nick joining us, and did you ever get your ass beaten in school? Because don't lie, because your mom is sitting right there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I never did. Never got too much trouble through school.
What?
Are you making up?
Okay,
for it
you
now?
gotta leave.
I'm really boring.
We're bad influences then. We're a bad influence on your son. He might need a spanking. He might like it too.
We were influences. Holy cow!
But he didn't know people could smoke in school back then.
I didn't know.
Oh yeah,
That's pretty awesome.
Really?
Smoke in the classroom, yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Oh yeah. We could smoke at school.
Yeah, you had the smoking circle outside.
Yeah, we had a
Smoking
ramp.
lounge.
Huh?
Or the smoking lounge.
We didn't have the lounge, we just had a circle out there.
But
with the
you
band
know,
room.
I did have my art teacher, God rest his soul. We had like private studio time for doing our artwork and everything.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of sculpture and everything. And he would be back there, and you know, he'd have a flask of scotch or whatever, and sit there and go. I mean, we're smoking in his classroom because he was a this guy was one of the most interesting people I've ever known. He was actually a combat photographer in Vietnam. And an amazing artist and a hell of a photographer. But he was actually he was a photographer for the Stars and Stripes. So I mean, this guy, he had stories. He goes, the only way I made it through Vietnam was fucking weed. He said I smoked so much goddamn weed when I was in the service that it was just absolutely ridiculous. But he's like, that was how he made it through.
I had a Hank Hill shop teacher.
What's little propane to propane accessories?
I mean, just that uptight, everything's got to be in its place. I mean, just one of these obsessive.
What are you doing?
Exactly. And
Damn it, pig!
I was proud. I made him cuss on a daily basis. He was either Jesus tits, Miller, or damnations, what are you doing?
See, and what you guys are doing,
I know I cost him a pack a week.
and what you guys don't realize yet, you're going to find out just how sacrilegious this motherfucker is. He has got some stories that will just blow your mind on some things and everything. But we go back to the. Where do you think all that came from for your, conspiracy theory?
Oh, well, I mean, just, my random thoughts on it. Well, if you take that and you kind of look at it as where we went as a society since that's come about, it is,
Scary.
I think it's downhill. I think, the release of that much information all together and everything convolutes everything to me.
Well, I think you're right, dude.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, I know you got to be. Things have got to progress. Things have got to go forward and stuff like that. You don't want to live in caveman ages and stuff like that. But this constant bombardment of 24-hour news, and everybody, is their own disciple, as far as saying this.
There's so many things you can research, though, from that. You know what I mean?
But you get so much bogus information too.
Well, that's true too. Because everything on the internet is true.
Oh yeah, I mean, deciphering it all. It makes it makes it hard to raise kids these days. It really does. I mean, we didn't have.
Because you can't tell them anything because they read it on the internet.
I remember being almost 14 years old for the first porno magazine.
Yeah.
By the time my kids were 10, they'd probably already seen Red Tube at somebody's house or something like that.
Did you say Red Tube?
He did.
I got two girls trying to get them to understand that now because it's so in your face. I mean,
Mom and Dad don't have to have. Here's the thing: Mom and Dad didn't have to have the birds and bees talk anymore because by the time because they've already seen some porn.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to actually have that conversation with one of our kids, and they're like, I already know all about it. You know, it's called the internet.
Yeah. They don't understand the emotional damage you can do and shit.
But I've got to share this just for the sake of embarrassing my son. That one day, he gets his first cell phone. He's not sleeping. He's upset. He's panicking. And I know he listens to our podcast. So this is why I'm throwing him a shout out. I won't say his name. But he comes up. I am fucking wrong for this. Yeah, we only have 2 sons. And you can put 2 and 2 together. It's the one that lives at our house. So
wait a minute. What about me? I live there part-time.
Shush. You're Rosemary's baby. You're Rosemary's baby.
Okay, man. I was joking.
He gets all upset and everything. And he's like, you know, and he comes to his mom. And, you know, she's got the biggest heart. And he says, Mom.
He was young.
Well, he was young.
He was so little.
Yeah. This is my wife, Kat.
Mama Defense Fund.
Yeah, the Mama Defense Fund. You know, she just felt to randomly chime in. But what he was so upset about,
Mama Bear.
he had literally done a search for boobies.
Nice.
And he had looked at him.
And he had looked at
And he
him.
felt guilty.
And he was upset by this.
And he told on himself.
So, I mean, yeah. Okay, so he's a good kid. I mean,
So good.
he rats on himself and everything. Now, no, I'm sure he's beaten more meat than Rocky Balboa. But, I mean, come on. You know, I've been calling him Rocky for a couple of years because it embarrasses him.
Well, I got myself pink eye 3 times last week. I don't know how that happened.
You were eating ass again, weren't you?
You have to let the chocolate mold first.
No, he still thought it was Dairy Queen. One guy, 1 cup. Speaking of internet gold. Oh my God, that was horrible. Oh my God. But see, that just shows you, you know, the internet can be a curse, yet it is a blessing.
It is.
And I'm sorry, 2 girls, 1 cup. That was a curse.
You know, I actually never saw that.
You need to. You've seen it, right?
Yes.
Nick?
Yep.
I never saw that.
I don't want to see it again.
Yeah, because you masturbated to it. Anyway, come on, Pickle.
I mean, I've been to 2 World Fairs and a donkey fucking. I've seen most things.
Poor donkey. Are we talking the Eddie Murphy donkey?
Shrek.
Or are we talking Tijuana Mule?
Tijuana Mule.
That was my nickname working for your ass, motherfucker.
That's pretty damn
You still got your money back, so shut up. Feel violated. You said I'd feel special.
He's special to me, baby.
Right. Oh my goodness. So we've kind of covered some. Anybody else have a conspiracy theory that you know deep down you want to bring to surface? I mean,
There's so many.
I mean, there's a billion of them out there. I mean, you've got Illuminati and all this other stuff.
Who
Which,
shot Kennedy, you know?
yeah, I mean, come on, it was the mafia. I mean, let's call it
It
spade.
was the Cubans.
Well, it could have been the Cubans too.
Cubans paid the mafia the money. You never know.
But damn, they have good food. And good
cigars.
cigars. Oh, damn fine
We need
cigars.
to do a podcast
And
about
really good
cigars.
rum. Oh, we could do a podcast about cigars.
You
Because,
sit down
dude,
and smoke some cigars.
I've got a humidor
Nick
full.
wouldn't even join in on that.
And he just likes big round things in his mouth, right?
Oh, no.
Because if you can't joke about yourself, you don't belong in our podcast. Here, it may not be a conspiracy theory, but these are things that people have out there.
Like, all right.
What about chupacabras?
That's
Skinwalkers.
a dog with a mane. What do you think?
Chupacabra.
Is it a dog?
I think it'd be
Is it
some
a leopard?
coyote, something.
What about the puma?
Oh, Jimmy's Puma in his neighborhood down here? Yeah, there's a guy named Jimmy. He's got a Puma that's running around his neighborhood. It's a black Puma. I think it's probably a tabby kitten because he's such a little stature guy that it terrifies the shit out of him. It's like,
I caught 2 pumas in like a closet.
in his shoes.
Left and a right when I ran fast.
Hey, was that the ones that had the pockets in it?
No.
What was the ones that had the pockets in the tennis shoes back in the day?
Oh my God, I don't even remember that.
You know, I do.
Yeah, I thought
But you
those
even
were
didn't
fun.
hold much, man.
It holds like milk money.
Yeah, milk money.
That you, after
That
you
you
didn't
would lose
get,
when you ran to school because you
or
were
you
running
didn't,
late.
or you were going to get beat up.
Nowadays, no cops know, but that makes a good place to put your weed in it.
Right?
I already know that one.
I remember it, but I don't remember what they were.
I thought they were
Hey,
blue.
Somebody have to do
Hey,
an
we'll look it up on the
interweb
internet.
search. Look up on the interwebs.
The inner
Okay,
wheels.
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
I think Bigfoot is plausible.
I think it's plausible 150 years ago.
I think that's somebody's mom.
No, I think it's- I
ran
think-
out of razors.
Or one of Pickle's girlfriends from high school. Give some Chewy
Chewbacca
love.
lives. Any little hairy children I fathered out there, don't come looking for me.
Oh, they coming out the woodwork now.
Yeah.
They're going to Target to get those masks. Chewbacca masks.
You may be a pickle offspring if. But no, I mean, I still think Bigfoot is plausible. Because, I mean, think about it. There are thousands and thousands of acres in North America alone that nobody has ever set foot in.
Oregon.
Yeah,
They
You
got
know,
big
Washington, Alaska.
State, Alaska.
So many
I mean,
people that
Canada even. I mean, they're... Huh?
She's gonna
Kentucky.
say
Kentucky.
just
You know,
joking.
no, that's inbreeding. That's a whole nother show.
Oh, man, Hatfield and McCoy.
They're just some hairy motherfuckers.
voice of experience chiming up.
God almighty.
But seriously, I mean, can you prove that there is no Bigfoot? Because, I mean, if you're looking at it, I mean, yeah, some of these ones, I
Loch
know...
Ness Monster is another one, man. It's a prehistoric animal that lives in a lake that probably has hundreds of miles of caverns underneath there.
Yeah, but think about it too, though. If you're talking about, you know, the lochs in Scotland and everything, those things are thousands of feet deep.
Yeah.
And I mean, and it's like
And there's
wicked
caves.
cold water, and there's caves and everything else. So, I mean, potentially, it could be plausible. Now, you know, my kids and I used to do this YouTube show called Backyard Monster Hunting. We went after the Carolina Reaper. That was our arch nemesis, and the crick hopper and everything. So, I mean, that was kind of our homage to, you know, mythical creatures and monster tales and everything. So, you know, shout out if y'all want to go check it out. It's Backyard Monster Hunting on YouTube. Check it out.
No, I mean, I never really come across anything like that in my experiences. I mean,
Ghost. There's a good one.
Oh man, I can talk about ghosts. I grew up in an old plantation house that the Civil and Revolutionary War were fought around. You know, I've got multiple ghost stories from this house. On summer nights when it was like really, really humid and everything, you could literally hear, like in the evenings, right about dusk, you could, along the back tree line and everything, you would actually could hear and see like little silhouettes of soldiers walking at the edge of the forest and everything, walking through there. And it only happened and everything in the summers and everything when it was hot like that. But now, my grandfather...
Because you had heat stroke.
I could have, because, you know, that's back in when, you know, you left out of the house at like the crack of dawn, and you didn't come back till dark because you knew Mama was going to beat your ass. But, you know, you had free reign out in the woods and you know, on the property when you were growing up. So, I mean, you didn't have to worry about, you know.
now I got one that's not direct with me. It's my mother's story. She swears by it, and I don't know her to be a liar about anything in my life. So she went to work as a kidney dialysis technician. First day certified there on the job. Woman codes out on the machine. They call over the
she was
nurse.
dying.
Yeah, I mean, they lay her out on the floor and everything. They're trying to check for a pulse and all this other stuff. There's no pulse. She's got no blood pressure. Nothing.
No brain activity, nothing.
Well, I mean, they can't do the brain activity.
Well, yeah, that's
People
true.
aren't doing whatever. And I mean, they're sitting there, you know, got what machines they had hooked up on her, found nothing. So all of a sudden, she just opens her eyes. And it's laying flat on her back, acting like she's climbing a ladder. She says, beautiful. It's beautiful. Can't you see it? It's beautiful. My mom's looking at this woman has a pulse. There's nothing there. And then she says, it's beautiful. And then she just laid back down. EMS got there. The rule was nobody died at the clinic.
Yeah.
You know, they took her to thing.
then somebody else
dead.
passed her. Yeah, I got
But
you.
there was 3 women
That saw that?
well, there's 100 or well, I don't know. There's probably patients and everything. Who knows how many people there? But it was 3 women that did not return that day. They quit. That was their first day too.
Holy
They was like, no, I'm out. You know, my mom would come back, but she swears this day that happened. And,
Now, weird when that
give me
happened.
cold chills every time I tell the story. Well, she tells a lot better, but
A weird one that happened to me. I'm at my grandmother's house, you know. I'm reading a book. Because grandma.
That really surprises me that you can read.
We didn't have a one TV.
Did it have
in
pictures in it?
But it's great to have books.
It is great.
Was it a JCPenney and you were whacking one off, rubbing one out?
No, it was National Geographic.
Or Sears and Roebuck. That's really showing age.
No, but it wasn't that. So I'm sitting there, I'm reading, and I catch something about the corner of my eye, and I look. I just saw like a shadow, you know? So I get up and I follow this shadow. I start walking to my uncle's room. Well, my uncle was reading my little brother's story. I walk in and I hear them, he was reading, he stops. And I walk in and go, hey! And they scream bloody murder. And it scares the shit out of me too. So we're all screaming. My grandmother's like, what's wrong with y'all? You know, beating us with a cane. It's 9:30 at night. I was like, oh my God. You know? But some lady in a black bonnet carrying a basket. I just saw her in the corner of my eye. Well, I asked my uncle after we all stopped screaming at each other. Grandma finished beating the hell out of each other. And I said, what'd y'all see? My little brother goes, a lady in a black bonnet carrying a basket. I said, well, where'd she go? She went out the door. I said, well, she opened it? He goes, no, she walked right through it. You didn't see it? I was like, I didn't see nothing.
Damn.
That was what I told him. I didn't see nothing because I was going to tell my grandmother. She's, you know, a Baptist preacher's wife. You tell her
That explains a lot of how screwed up you are.
It does.
But now,
But
okay.
anyways,
Go ahead.
but I just thought that was crazy, you know. My little brother saw the same thing I saw.
Did your uncle see it?
Huh?
Did your uncle see it?
He was like, he could tell you what color her shoes were underneath
wow.
the dress. I was like, well, not underneath the dress, but I was just like, that's really strange to me, you know.
Now I can go one on the my grandfather. There was the same old plantation house. In our upstairs bathroom, there was this big mirror that was literally bolted in.
Not red rum.
No, just hear me out. It was bolted in, tucked behind
We
the
need to
faucet
save these for
fixtures.
Halloween. But keep going, sorry.
You know, tucked in behind the faucet fixtures where, you know, it's secure and it's bolted to the wall. He hated this mirror. For whatever reason, he always hated that mirror. A week after he dies, 2 o'clock in the morning, you hear smash. That mirror is, now, these were big bathrooms, because, I mean, it was a big house. The bathroom is probably 14 feet long
God,
and everything before you even get, you know, in the showers over on the right and stuff. And stuff. You could square dance in there. That mirror was across the room, face up, smashed.
wow.
And, you know, to this day, anybody in my family will tell you that was my granddad. He didn't want to see that. He hated that mirror, and he had his last revenge on that.
I'm not saying.
And I can actually, or the last house that my wife and I had, I was sick. I mean, I was like really,
Every
really
time
sick.
somebody was sick.
Anytime somebody was sick. But I mean, I was like really sick, like 103 fever, like in bed. You know, I've got the blankets pulled down, you know, to my waist, laying there just sweating, feeling like I'm going to die. I felt this presence, and I look up, and it's an old black lady, and she's bringing the blankets up and literally to my chin and tucked me all the way in, which I could not have done myself.
That's how Grandma used to do it.
And I have seen her with both kids when they were running half acres. I've seen that woman.
That's
tuck
great. That's a
them in.
kindred spirit, though,
Yeah.
man.
I miss
So
that house.
yeah, I missed that house too. It was a great house. But yeah, I mean, wow. You got any ghost experiences, Nick?
Yeah, one time when I was growing up, an old apartment complex, it was Handbrake. It was a subdivision, like a dead end
Cul-de-sac.
cul-de-sac. Yep, can't get.
Poltergeist.
I stayed home from school one day because I was feeling sick, and we had a long, dark hallway that led to the back bedroom. And I'd always be afraid of the back bedroom. I don't know, I just get a horrible feeling every time I stand back there, go back there, anything I had to do. But,
Whose room was that?
It was my parents' room.
Oh, no wonder why you were scared of it.
Seriously. Mom and Dad do
Keep
bad
going.
things.
I was laying on the couch. Everyone was gone. I was,
dirty.
I was home alone, and I started hearing noises from the back, like someone was walking around.
That's creepy.
So I look back, and I see like a shadow just dash by down the hallway, all the way in the back. So I pick up my dog, and I haul ass outside the door. And I get out of there, because I don't know what it was. But the second I look back, we had a screen door, and I could swear I saw an old dude in overalls just standing there looking at me as I was running out the door.
Oh, wow.
So I sat out by my mailbox, waited till my mom got home. I was scared to death.
Mommy, I peed my Huggies.
I was like 12, 13.
I don't
Yeah,
blame
that's-
you there, though.
Freaked me
It's
out.
the only ghost experience. And other than that, my family, they hear their names called and stuff in the house while they were alone.
Oh, that's pretty freaky.
Dad must not find me that interesting.
Yeah, but my God, some of the living that do. Holy
Maybe they know something
shit.
about. We know where this guy's going. Cut him a wide berth.
He's going to hell wearing gasoline underwear, and I'm driving the bus.
Put your crash helmet on. Put your crash helmet on.
What else you got, guys?
I mean, weird experience. I got one. It's most of y'all know, Sheriff Podcast. My wife's a recovering meth addict, and she went through it really bad there for a while. I mean, really bad. And it was a struggle and a fight on the family. I was trying to stop somebody from doing what they want to do is an impossible task, you know.
Yeah.
And it's 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting up to go to work. And I'm half awake, half asleep, kind of that. I don't want to get up and go to work phase. And I'm kind of laying there just dreaming in and out. And the best way I say it is a cloud of fire. It's like I felt the heat from it. A cloud of fire just kind of come down. It was like,
That was Satan saying, I'm making a place for you, boy. I'm making a place for you.
and this angelic type figure with a sword was like pointing at me. It said, get up, go to this dresser drawer, look under these clothes. And I sat straight up in the bed. I mean, boom. And I'm trying to figure it out. And I just clawed over the bed and I reached for the thing, I move her. There's a damn meth in her meth pipe.
Oh, shit.
That's creepy, dude.
And, you know, and then the one other one, I guess, you know, I don't know, ghost more than somebody else just speaking to you. My daughter was a victim of sexual molestation by a good family friend. And the night I found out about it, he was about 200 yards away from where I was when I found out about it. And I took off out the front door to go kill him. I mean, that was my every intent, was to go over there and strangle the life out of it.
Yeah.
And on that walk, it was like somebody just put their hands on my shoulders and said, look, you do this, you're going to watch your kids grow up in prison. Calm yourself before you go.
Wow.
I mean, it didn't look like a voice, it was more like just an inner feeling. But it felt like somebody had put their arm around me, you know? And saved his life, probably mine too, you know?
I want to tell you, this one kind of makes me laugh. People, that would have been tough. I'm surprised the guy's still walking around with hands, because I would have probably cut him off.
And
He's
his
been
dick.
doing 30 years.
And his dick and shoved it in his mouth and set him on fire. But I'm a vindictive bastard, as we know.
And I was too. And I said, my walk over there was to do all that.
I
Yeah.
know you would have.
And I was a wild son of a bitch back then. I mean, it didn't matter to me.
Back then.
I've calmed down a lot. Back then, I was a wild son of a bitch. And it, you know, everybody always says that to me. I was like, you know, that was my thoughts too. Something above
Somebody was looking out for you.
looking out for me. That's twice that's happened, and you know, in a short amount of time there. And you know, kind of if I can't prove there's something there, but I believe there is more than there's not. You know,
That's true.
All right, my grandmother was sick. She had lupus, and she was passing away. Well, my dad never got along with my grandmother. I mean,
Was this his mom?
This was my mom's mother.
Okay.
My dad lost his parents when he was 8 years old. But that's a whole nother story. Anyways, so we're in the hospital. We're taking turns. My dad was in the hospital room. It's about 3 or 4 in the morning when she passed. And then I was coming down there for my turn. I look at my dad. I says, "What happened to your face?" He says, "Grandmother's passed." I said, "What do you mean?" And I go in there and she's gone. They're in there, you know, doctors are all in there. And I start looking at my dad. And then he starts looking at me and goes, and I was like, "What?" He's trying to form a sentence. He says, "As she passed, that bitch slapped me." And he had a handprint on his face. And my dad, to this day, swears when she passed, he said, "Well, I got this son of a gun, boy."
I'm getting one last lick in on that son of a bitch.
The last great act of defiance.
He had a handprint on his face.
Man, I got respect for that chick. When you can rile up enough hate that you're going to reach from the nether regions to bitch slap somebody as you're passing.
Because my dad was asleep. He said he was asleep like this. And there's
Now that's a way to go.
I looked at him. I said, "What's wrong?" And, you know, he was trying to tell me grandmother passed, but he had a handprint on his face, and I couldn't figure out where the handprint came from. And I'm like, maybe he slept with his hand on. That's what I was thinking. And he goes, "That was, she slapped me as she left." Because they didn't get along at all.
Wow.
So I find that funny. I don't know if that's true, or my dad slept with his hand on his face and woke up when she passed. But either way, I was like, "Grandma got it right."
I love it. That is awesome. Now, is this the one that was married to the Baptist preacher?
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting.
So I just thought it was funny. I thought maybe my dad had fallen asleep, but he couldn't get it out of his mouth. He was like, "She slapped me." And he did have a handprint on his face. Did he fall asleep with his hand on his face? That's what I think. But either way, I could see my grandmother doing that to him because they didn't get along. So I just find that really funny that
That's great.
she's like, "Hey, watch this. I got you, heathen."
You some bitch. You know what? I think that's actually probably a really good place to stop on. The guys are going to have plenty to talk about next week because Daytona will be over, and they're going to be heading down to the races in Atlanta. So we'll be actually doing our podcast a little early next week.
We'll
So
get some pictures to post for the week's cast after.
yeah, for all the nonsense that. Yeah, one of these days I'm actually going to join them for a race. I
Road
promise
trip
that.
shenanigans.
Yeah, we'll talk about road trip shenanigans and
Good topic. That'll be a
and
great
some
topic.
other nonsense and everything. So from this week from Pub Shenanigans, I'm Eric.
At Pickle.
Jamming, Ben, Nick.
And for Adam, who's not here, we're leaving on vacation and coming back on probation.
Good night and have a good one. Drink up, folks.